Hey, Alex Ensko here, your Jeffco Republican Field Director. Today we are sitting down with Vicki Pyne for her second interview. Obviously, we got to know her a little bit personally last time, but we're going to talk about some issues today. Vicki, thanks for sitting down with us.
How are you?
I'm not too bad. Yourself?
I'm good.
Are you
Good.
enjoying all this stay-at-home order?
It's I'm trying to be productive.
Trying to be there. There we go. That's perfect. So let's just jump right into it. Because we obviously don't want Jared Polis to catch us while we're out here, right? So previously, like I said, we got to know you a little bit in the first interview. We want to know about more of your stances on the issues. So please tell us more about your stance on education.
Okay, education. I am a parent's choice. I think nobody knows a child like a parent, and so we need to get back to allowing parents to be able to have that priority of really feeling that they have the ability to choose where their kids go to school and choose the environment that they want their kids in. Getting away a little bit more away from the control of the state over the schools, but allowing the schools to have that control at a local level.
Okay, that's definitely interesting. Anything else you wish to add on that?
No, that right now we seem to keep moving toward a one size fits all, and the pressure of the unions and even the school districts trying to do things across the board universally for the schools instead of recognizing that one size does not fit all.
That's true. I was definitely one of those students where I needed extra help, and that one size fit all didn't fit me. So that's
Right.
definitely important. The next one we're going to go into. Obviously, your opponent is already on record for supporting Polis care. Please tell us more about your stance on healthcare.
I I mean there will be a theme because I like to be in charge of my own care. Just like I'd like to be in charge of my own children and what schools they go to. I going to a universal system where we have a one payer system or even this kind of edging into it that Colorado is proposing, it starts eliminating choice. It's like when Obamacare came in and we were told that we wouldn't lose our health care, we wouldn't lose our providers, or any of those things. I went through 3 insurance companies that left the state of Colorado before I could get one that was steady. And then, of course, we all know that our rates and everything go up. And when we do these services where we're trying to make everything universal for everybody and provide the same care for everybody, and we don't all need the same care. We don't all need every one of those benefits. We should be able to choose the benefits that we need, and there's a better way to look at how we reform healthcare. And I think instead of referring things and questions to health insurance companies for advice, I think we need to go to doctors and hospitals and talk about what their idea of reform is, because it gets back to patient care and patient choice, and that individual thing that we all, as a patient, I know I want to be in charge of who's seeing me and what my decisions are going to be about how I'm going to be cared for.
Well, in government healthcare will drive insurance premiums through the roof, so we definitely don't want that.
No, we've already seen that in a partial way with Obamacare.
Yep, and Polis Care is basically Obamacare, just with a different name.
Right.
Next thing we're going to talk about, tell us more about your stance on transportation.
Well, I think we've got a serious problem with roads and infrastructure,
especially in Arvada.
In Arvada, we've got issues where we have roads that belong to the city and the state and the county, and trying to get priority and funding and people to focus on what needs to happen has been a real issue. We've got too many people who are looking at their own personal interests and special interest groups and programs that really are not issues for an entire state. And when we pay, I know as a taxpayer, when I pay my taxes, I presume my money is going to take care of the roads and the infrastructure. That seems to me to be a major purpose of me paying taxes.
And it benefits us all.
And it benefits us all. And when we talk about these things, people have it, right now I feel like the tendency is to go toward the electric side and looking at energy and clean air and all that, which is very important. But we forget that when we're talking about roads and infrastructure, we're talking about the surfaces of the roads. We're talking about getting from point A to point B, and that does not just involve us personally in our cars going to work or activities, but it involves commerce, and it involves transportation of products to stores and things that we need. And we have got to take and prioritize roads in the budget up at the Capitol. And we need to set a plan. We need to provide the funding out of the money that is there, and then we need to say, okay, now what is next? Instead of taking roads and putting them at the bottom of the list and saying we want all of these things to happen, we need to say we need this for the roads. Now what can we do next?
And ignores all the stupid pet projects
Right.
that seem to take priority.
Right. A lot of the legislation that's going through right now, and a lot of what's happening in our own district, are things that could have been handled in a different way and do not belong in the legislature at the Capitol.
You're 100% correct. So moving on to the next thing, I know you wanted to talk about Family Medical Leave Act a little bit, so tell us more what your thoughts on that are.
So this is going to be, and I know I've had conversations with a lot of people, and it doesn't matter which side of the table that you want to be on in this issue. What most people don't understand that this is essentially just another payroll tax. It's taking money out of your check, and the employer is matching that amount of money, and it's going to the state. And then if you want to receive funds for medical leave, you have to fill out an application and be approved to receive those funds. So it's just another payroll tax, it's just another unemployment tax, but they're trying to disguise it in a lot of different ways. And just like with kindergarten, when they said 84% of the people will take advantage of it, and then you'll have 99% enrollment, it's going to be the same thing. Once they put these things into play and it gets voted through the legislature, it has to be funded. And we live with a constitution that says the balanced budget has to be there.
Mm-hmm.
We can't have negatives. So you put this kind of legislation through, just like kindergarten. You have an unexpected number of people using it. Now you have to take money from the general fund and from this fund and from that fund, wherever it's going to be. What is not going to be prioritized once again? Our roads.
Yep.
So it's too much. There are other ways to be sure that people are taken care of. It's not through the Family Leave Act.
And that's very true, because basically it's a feel-good title bill, but then once you read it to find out what's in it, it's just terrible.
It's just another tax, and people will not realize until it's too late. If they vote for this, they will not realize until it's too late that they just lost more money out of their take-home pay.
Yep, and that's the thing. They love taking our take-home pay. So moving on to the next one, obviously we've been dealing with a pretty big crisis with this coronavirus. What are some of the lessons you think we've learned for future self-preparedness?
Well, I think it's safe to say that looking down the road at how the shopping patterns went and how things looked as we came into this crisis, and knowing that we can have these situations with blizzards or anything else, that it's safe to say that maybe we should, each time we go shopping, buy just a couple extra things and put it away in storage for safekeeping. Have a little extra toilet paper, have a little extra canned goods in the basement or food in the freezer, so that you know that if you needed to go for 2 weeks or 2 months, that you maybe have a few things on hand and you can get there. And when you go to the grocery store, it's just supplementing, and it's not a crisis, and we're not all rushing out at the same time and buying everything completely out of the store and having issues with getting things restocked.
Then we don't give the media their headlines either.
I think we also see it's like with everything, with the emphasis on washing hands and good self-care and all of
that
those
should be an
kinds of
everyday
things.
thing.
Those should be an everyday thing, but it's always a talk. I know it's like my husband Tom was at the airport, and he said he went to the men's room, and it was the first time he'd seen the sinks people waiting in line behind a sink in the men's room. And I said, I told you. We've had that talk, but it's remembering those habits of cleanliness and self-care, staying home from work at any time.
Yeah.
All good things to practice, but in particular, having some things at home to know that your family can be provided for. Just buying things a little bit at a time, and knowing that you've got things on hand in all areas, whether it's to do with food or paper products or first aid or any of that kind of stuff. Just to always keep a few things on hand so that we don't have that crazy.
That's very true, and that's a very good thought on future preparedness. And I think we've learned a lot from this crisis,
Right.
if you want to call it a crisis. That is, if you're doing the little things, it shouldn't be a crisis. But
Right.
that's just my
Yeah,
thoughts.
exactly. And then when it comes to the rest of it, I mean, it's take advantage of the slowdown.
Yep.
Start some home projects.
Yeah,
Be with
the
your
home projects
kids.
you've been putting off for a while, right?
I'm like, I'm already telling my husband, we should build a greenhouse.
Now that would be fun.
Yeah.
Then you could grow plants all
I can
year.
start my hanging baskets way early.
Yeah.
But yeah, so take advantage of the slowdown a little bit. I mean, it's there's blessings in everything.
Yep, that's true. Well, that concludes all the questions we had for you. So we want to thank you for sitting down with us for this second interview. I know we will be having you in throughout the summer and into the fall, because obviously we want to make sure that you win and you get across the finish line to represent the people of House District 27. So thank you very much. And any last words you want to say?
Nope, just stay happy.
Yeah, stay happy, stay safe out there, everyone, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
Thank you.
We will have Vanessa DeMont in. Thank you very
All right,
much.
thanks.